In this video, we're going to look at the effects section on the right of the interface here. Now, each synth engine has 3 effect slots. So when I hit the kick, you'll see those, and when I hit another one, it updates and shows different effects pertaining to that synth engine. Some have 1, some have 2, some have 3. Now, the master output also has 3 slots, and these only affect sounds that are routed to the master output, not sounds that are routed to the sub output. And you'll remember we can do that here or on the kit page. So we toggle between the two by using these buttons here. So that's the master effects, and you'll see these become highlighted because those are, well, these two here are the only modulation sources available for modulating master effects parameters and plugins. And this pertains to some of the setup for the master effects as well in terms of the output routing. So we switch there, and I'm going to turn off the follow MIDI now, so when I hit different notes, it doesn't keep updating. Like that. Now at the top of the hierarchy here, we have effects chains over here, and that loads in chains of all 3 effects. So we have a power button. That's for the whole effects chain. And we have the preset picker over here where we can choose different preset effects chains that'll load in the 3 separate effects. And we have flow control, and that's this area over here where we see the names of the 3 different plugins that are used, and we can reorder them by simply clicking and dragging and moving them around like that. So that's called flow control, to reorder the effects. And we have wet-dry mix slider. So this is just a global wet mix for the entire effects chain. Now we have some common controls as well within each of the individual effects or plugins. We have a power button on each of these just to bypass or enable each one individually. We have a preset picker to choose what type of plugin we want in case we want to change from one of the ones already loaded into a preset, or if we want to just start from scratch. They'll be blank, and you use this to call up the type of effect you want. We have mix over here, so we can do parallel processing and mix the wet-dry signal of each individual effects in each effect slot. And we have a level control, so these are common for all of these. And we have next and previous buttons for presets within each of these effects. So for example, this is a compressor. So within this, I have different presets for the compressor. This is a parametric EQ, and I have different presets there. So we have next, previous buttons, as we do with all the preset pickers in the interface. We have contextual menus available in each of these effect slots. So if I right-click, we get cut, copy, paste. So let's say I cut or copy. Well, let's say I'll cut that one, that compressor. So now it's missing from there, and I can paste it into this one. And they work as you'd expect. Cut removes it. Copy copies it to the clipboard, and paste will paste it. So global cut, copy, paste commands. Let's paste it in here as well. So now we have 2 compressors. And finally, we have transmod that we can use for these effects. Now, basically, all the effects devices can be modulated using any of the sources over here, but the master output effects, which we get to from here, can only be modulated using the global controls. So good to know, in this master effects, we only have 1. So let's say I want to load another effect slot in there. I'll load in, for example, an EQ, and I can call up a preset. And I can use one of these global LFOs to modulate one of these parameters. So let's say I'll go global LFO 1, dial in some depth, and you can see it oscillating there based on this rate. So let's change the rate, and that changes the speed of the oscillation. So that's basic transmod for the master effects, and as I say, for the synth effects, you can use any of these sources. So that wraps up our look at the bottom half of the interface. For the remaining videos, we're going to look at the sequencing up here in pattern, graphs, and mapping mode.